What is up, weather enthusiasts? I'm your host, Pat's Path Predictor. Let's get right into the weather. Alright, so this is the situation we have right here. This is now potential tropical cyclone 13, ladies and gentlemen. The NHC has designated this potential tropical cyclone 13 over here. It has winds of 35 miles per hour. The chances of formation are now high at 90% right here for both 48 hours and 5 days, ladies and gentlemen. So that's what we're looking at right here. It's moving near the ABC Islands, and it's off the coast of northwestern Venezuela. So yeah, that's pretty much what we're looking at right there. They have designated this a potential tropical cyclone. The pressure is now 1,006 millibars. So if we take a look at the cone right there, it's expected to move through the ABC Islands. It's expected to potentially make landfall in Colombia as a tropical storm. In fact, tropical storm warnings are issued for over here. And we do have this thing moving through, and it is expected to strengthen into a hurricane before it makes landfall in Nicaragua right there. It is then expected to move through Central America and bring potentially heavy rainfall right there. So everyone needs to keep that in mind right there. Let's go ahead and see what's fueling this thing. The global sea temperatures, 28 plus degrees Celsius throughout parts of the Caribbean where this thing is moving right here, ladies and gentlemen. Even though this thing isn't really that strong or anything like that, it doesn't mean there's a threat. There have been a lot of reports of flooding, flash flooding actually, from Trinidad and Tobago, Grenada, parts of Venezuela, and we're starting to see some flooding reports from the ABC Islands as well. So that's what we're looking at. The ocean heat content it's about to move into. We're looking at values of over 100 after the ABC Islands and after Colombia right there. So this thing will have plenty of fuel to strengthen, especially, and it could potentially rapidly intensify depending on how it takes those OHC values right there. The deep layer shear, we have this right here. The deep layer shear, pretty interesting right there. Favorable conditions for the Western Caribbean right there. It's already in somewhat favorable shear conditions right now. We're just going to have to keep an eye on it as time continues to progress. Once that thing moves into open water, it'll start potentially organizing very quickly, so I'll have to keep an eye on that. So I'll go ahead and show you the track models and then the intensity. The track models have this thing moving south of the ABC Islands, potentially making landfall on the tip of Colombia right there. And then it's expected to move through the Caribbean and make landfall in Nicaragua in the next 3 days. It is then expected to move through Central America all the way up to Mexico, similar to what Hurricane Felix did back in 2007. So we'll have to keep an eye on that as time continues to progress. The intensity models are pretty interesting. The H-WRF has this as a Category 2 hurricane. The rest of the models have this at Category 1. Either way, it's still going to cause a major flood threat, so everyone needs to keep that in mind. So that's pretty interesting what we're looking at. We're going to go ahead and show you a couple of different models. We're going to go ahead and show you the European and the GFS model run. The European run, pretty interesting right there. The European has this thing getting up to a hurricane past Colombia right there. The European has this thing making a very close brush to the Colombia right there. And then it moves into the Caribbean, starts organizing, starts strengthening as it's approaching the coast of Nicaragua. Eventually gets down to a pressure of 989 millibars, which is around a mid-range Category 1 hurricane, before it makes landfall on the Nicaragua coast right there. And then it kind of moves through Nicaragua, and that's pretty much the 90-hour forecast right there for this run. The GFS run, we're going to go ahead and show you what's going on with that. The GFS run is generally the more aggressive of the two runs, but it's actually not. It's actually being a bit more passive with this, actually. The GFS has us making landfall around a 995, 997 millibar system, which is either a strong tropical storm or weak hurricane. And then it moves through Nicaragua. It kind of stays all over the place and everything like that. Moves through Mexico. Apparently it re-enters the Gulf at some point. That's probably not going to happen, but it is several days out, so we'll have to keep an eye on it as time continues to progress. But yeah, we now have potential tropical cyclone 13. It's moving in a similar path to that of Hurricane Bonnie back in June, so we'll have to keep an eye on it here on the Pat's Path Predictor channel. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. It helps me out, helps me make more videos like these. The goal of this channel is to get more people engaged with weather. So with that being said, have a wonderful day. Stay safe.